the diet that made me look like this, and I used to look like this before, and it only took a bit to see the results. And I'll show you how to see the results even faster with the exact diet. Meal number one, the fast breaker. I call this the fast breaker because you're gonna be breaking the fast you had overnight. So since we were training early in the morning, the best way to break the fast is with what I call the fasted training. Basically, it is when you break the fast before your first heavy intense set and after your warm-up sets. So for example, if you did your dynamic stretches, your cardio warm-up stretches, if you do that, and then before you do your first heavy sets, and then you have your fast, you break your fast. Then here's how you actually are going to break the fast. Break it with fruits, and the perfect fruit for this is a banana. So for me, each day when I train, I try to break the fast at 7 a.m. with a banana, right after I did my warm-up and right before my first heavy sets. How this actually helps is since you're faster, you won't have as much energy. But if you just eat the banana, you're gonna have a massive boost to your energy calories. You're gonna feel it for the first few sets, and that will be the difference in not just a few reps, but at least 5 reps where you can do more. So remember this, right after your warm-up sets and before your first heavy sets. And remember, the reason why it's so important to have it before your first heavy sets is your first few sets are the most important because they're going to influence the rest of your sets. If your first few sets are looking high intense, the best of your workouts, the other ones, the chances are they're going to follow through. They're going to follow the same bar as your first set. It won't be as high because you won't have that much energy calories in you, but it will be close to it. It will be similar to it. That way you will have the best workouts you can. And of course, you might get hungry because maybe you haven't gotten used to fasted training. Can you guess what the trick is for never being hungry? Especially in the gym, the trick is to just drink as much water as possible, because water is going to fill you up. If you drink 1 liter, 2 liters, 2.5 liters of water inside the gym, you're going to be full. You won't feel the hunger as much as you think you would. Meal number 2, recharge, also called post-workout meal. So in here, what I want you to have is around 500 to 600 amounts of calories. The reason for that is there's actually 2. The first one being having low amounts of calories is perfect for earlier in the day. Since if you eat too much, you won't have that much of calories to work with later where you need it the most because you're the most tired, you use the most energy. And the second reason is if you eat too much, more than I found the perfect amount to be max 600. If you eat more than 600 calories, you will feel so sluggish, your mind will feel fogged, and you will just feel like not good overall. So I really recommend 500 to 600. And the target should be medium amounts of protein, medium amount of fat, and then low to medium amounts of carbs. This is perfect, just trust me on that. And then the actual foods, for example, I can give you is eggs, veggies, butter, bacon, not too much and not too little as well. Meal number 3, the recovery meal. Of course, this is going to be the one where you have the most calories and all of that. But this is also the one that's the most challenging and a bit hard to stick to. And the reason for that is because it has a specific time window. For the other ones, it's just to eat at the same time every single day. That's hard. That's level 1 hard. But this is a bit more harder. And the reason for that is you're gonna have a 4-hour limit. And what this limit is basically, your last bite of this meal must be 4 hours before bedtime. And how will this help you is, first, your sleep. If you eat too close to bedtime, your body will be trying to digest it. You will be using more energy, and falling asleep won't be as easy as could have been, or maybe you won't even fall asleep in the first place. Maybe you will wake up in the middle of the night, which you don't want, of course. And also with your training, how this will help is if you follow a constant rhythm, your training will be so much better. Just like training at the same time every day is better, it's good for you. Also, eating, especially the last meal, the meal that has the most calories, energies, all of that, the most protein, fat, all of that. If you eat it at the same time window, and especially at the 4-hour limit I just spoke about, your training is gonna boost your strength, your muscle building is all gonna boost. It's all gonna skyrocket. So remember this 4-hour limit. It's hard to stick to, it's kind of challenging to stick to, but it's definitely worth it. You might be wondering, I will be too hungry, or that was too early to eat my last meal, or something like that. And do you remember the trick is for never being hungry? This one isn't just water. This one's also liquid. So you can have 0 sugar tea, 0 sugar juice, or something like that. Liquid is the #1 thing for never being hungry. And since it's 0 calories, it's actually perfect. But remember this as well. If you want to have the best sleep and not wake up in the middle of the night, try stopping drinking at least 1 hour before bedtime. That's important to note. So like I said before, the targets should be high amounts of protein, high amounts of fat, and medium to low carbs. So for example, you can have steak, chicken, fish, a lot of butter, all of the high protein and high fat kind of stuff. If you want to personally see my food logs, my diet, all of that, and I can see yours, check the link in the description, and I'll help you or give you advice with whatever I can, with food recommendations, all of that. So check the link in the description. And the last one will be snacks. Each day I try to avoid it as much as possible, but you can't avoid them forever. Of course, you will have some snacks some days. So the best time to actually have these snacks is one, about later in the day when you're extra hungry, when you use the most energy, and the other one is earlier in the day. If you try to have like throughout the day, you're so much more likely to just overeat, go over your calorie limit, and just overall just waste so much progress results you can get. Some actually good snacks for you to have are for example, nuts, very good, shakes, protein shake, protein bar, and yogurt. So this was the perfect diet that gave me all the results I want, and works perfectly with early morning training. And if you do it enough, if you stick to it enough, I'm 100% you'll see results very much faster than I did. And make sure to check the link in the description to talk to me directly.